trigger warning, there is blood in this video. There are needles in this video. So if you're easily triggered, just keep that in mind. Onto the filler. Hey guys! So we're on the floor right now because I really need to film this intro, but my vanity is in pieces right now. So I'm just like, why don't I just pop my big ass on the floor? Ooh. What? So if you've been with me for a while, you know that I've been kind of contemplating getting under eye filler. I was really scared and I was just never ready to like fully take the plunge. And so I've been, okay, let me start at the beginning. So I've been getting Botox for, I want to say like 4 years, 5 years, a few years. So the girl that I went to before, I was not 100% trusting in her. I was good with the Botox because it's so simple, but like under eye filler, I feel like that's very, like it's a process. So I wasn't 100% comfortable with her. So I switched and I now go to Holly, who you will see in the video, who is, oh my God, like, thank you, Jesus, for giving Holly to me. I mean, she's not just mine, but she's so freaking amazing, and I would trust her with my life. So when I was getting my Botox, which by the way, if you guys would like me to film my Botox, let me know down below and we can do a little video all about that. So when I went for my Botox, I just mentioned it to her. I'm like, I'd really like to maybe get under eye filler, you know, possibly. And she's like, girl, let's do it. And I was like, wait, are we really gonna do this? So we did it. So I actually ended up having 2 appointments for the under eye filler, which you guys will see. She didn't want to do too much initially because, I mean, you can always add more, but you can't really take away. You can dissolve it, but like who wants to do that? So you'll see the first appointment, then I go back and get more, and right now we are perfect. They're plump, but they're not like too much. It's the best thing I ever did. I love it so much. And also in this video, you're gonna see Terra getting some threading done. Now it's not the, what do they call it? The lifting threads where it like pulls things. It's these little tiny threads that they put under the surface of your skin with this long needle, and it leaves the thread in there and your body kind of fights the thread and produces collagen. So it's a good way to produce collagen. You'll see that. I also filmed that, so we'll pop that in as well. And then I ended up getting a little bit of cheek filler. I only did 1 syringe, and Holly said most people do like 2 to 3, but it is like, it was never something that I thought I needed. I was never like, oh, I want to get my cheeks done. But I talked to Holly and I was like, you know, this area of my face kind of bothers me as I age. I feel like it just gets kind of like gravity's taking over. So she's like, well, if we do just like 1 syringe of Restylane Contour, I'll pop in a picture of it. She's like, that will really make a difference down there. And I'm like, really? So I was like, what the heck, let's do it. I'll film it. You know, somebody else might be interested in getting it. I think that's pretty much it. So let's jump into my first under eye filler appointment. It's kind of weird to watch back because I'm not like a fan of needles. I'm kind of a puss. Let's do it. Let's go. We're going to get our not Botox, filler. Oh, look, cute. This is our, oh yes, bitch, this is.
Okay, so where I'm gonna go with the 1 syringe, half in here, I'm gonna fill in this deficit, and then we'll see. And then back here, we can go along the bone, the ridge, if there's any left, and kind of do little aliquots, but we'll use the cannula for the inner eye there.
Okay.
Ready? Here. First, this is just lidocaine numbing you because it feels kind of weird with the cannula coming towards your eye. Okay? Okay. Let that settle in.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it burns. And then I'm actually gonna come around.
Beauty is pain. Beauty is pain.
So you'll get full results in 2 weeks. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Hyaluronic acid, loves water. Okay. Okay, first I'm gonna make the pilot hole. I'm gonna go here. So we just kind of let that sit there to easily get the cannula in.
So that's what you inject the needle into?
Yep, the cannula into. This is the needle that's making what they call a pilot hole.
Okay.
And then if that worked properly, sometimes it takes a couple times. Bleed in there. We're in, good. I always want to know where my needle is. Doing okay still? So it goes around vessels, and you kind of see my needle tip right there in the corner. And place the product in. Doing okay? Look up for me. Up, up. Okay, so I'm going to come out. And then we just kind of roll it into the deficit. Roll it in. And so far that was 0.2 milliliters of the 1 milliliter syringe. Oh, might have been a little more actually.
So at this point, I was still feeling great. The hardest part so far had been the lidocaine, the numbing agent that she used. This part, I know it looks really scary, but it honestly, I couldn't feel anything. So as bad as it looks, it truly was not that bad. The lidocaine hurt way worse than this did.
And I'm gonna go over to the other side, and then we'll just put go down to the bone. That's the safest way. So it looks like she got a little tiny bruise there, so I'm gonna be careful.
It's gonna look like I punched you.
And that's just from the lidocaine, so hopefully this won't be as obvious. There, you can see my needle right there, or cannula. Right there. I'm just gonna lay some product there. See how it kind of plumps up? Doing okay? So that feels weird, huh? I'm gonna come out. Good, this side. Some practitioners do blend their product with like a saline or lidocaine, so that's why it takes 2 weeks for everything to settle. We don't ever want to overfill this area because then it could get puffy. So we kind of fill it at 80%. Let me see here. We're getting there. I'm gonna go back in and kind of try to fill in that right in there again. See if this is still open. Good. Weird, huh?
Really weird.
And not everyone is a candidate for this. Anyone that kind of has a deficit, doesn't help with discoloration. It will help now with shadowing. See how much better that looks already? That side went really well. Looks good. And then I'm gonna put the needle on and just go down to her orbital rim there and just do little tiny dots. And then we'll kind of assess it, okay? Doing okay? Okay. Your eyelashes are really long, so I'm gonna have you look up so that it's out of the way, okay? And of course, this is a high risk of bruising, so I like to warn people of that. Don't do this right before a major event. I'm gonna try to avoid your vessels right on the bone. Aspirating for any blood. Just gonna check just a little dot. Doing okay? And then we kind of smush it down into place there. Good. Go right here, a little poke. How's the pain here? As soon as I see it lifting. All right, let me go to the other side. We don't treat it like a whole 100% because then it would be puffy. We kind of treat, let it settle, and then we would come back and do a little bit more. So see how she still has a deficit right here. So I'm feeling for the bone there. Poke. Good, right. Very thin skin actually right there, so we want to be really careful that we don't put too much and then you'll be able to see the product. I'm just gonna mold it into place there. Might even go back in with the cannula and put it right there. Yeah. So no major bruising, that's good as of now that I can see. Let me see here. So everything will settle down in 2 weeks and we can see the results and if we need to add any more. Good.
Okay, so this was directly after, like 5 minutes after I had it done. And then this video, this was 3 days after, and you can see, now that big bruise on my left side was actually from the lidocaine. Now those little bruises right under my eyes, of course, are from the filler. But that was the worst of it. And it lasted, I don't know, maybe a week. It wasn't that bad. And then here we are with makeup, and girlfriend, she is looking cute. This was a week after. I'm gonna squeeze Terra's threading in here, so you guys, if you're interested in that, I'll put on the screen the exact name of what she got. And she's tough, by the way. She ain't no puss like me.
Do you see that little hair? The thread?
Yeah, but you could put your hand behind it so my camera focuses.
See the little thread right there?
Oh yeah, cool. So I had to voice over this part because we forgot to turn the music off and I would get copyrighted. So Terra's getting her first threading appointment. They recommend, well, Holly recommends, she said you can do up to like 4 for the best results. So there's a tiny little thread on that needle. So when she puts the needle in and kind of gives it a little twist, it leaves the thread under the skin and your body fights that thread off as if it were something bad, and it produces collagen. And it's just a cool way for your body to produce more collagen. So you can get them anywhere on your face. Terra chose her cheeks kind of for the same reason that I did the cheek filler, which we'll talk about. Look at her, she's smiling. Like, she is insanely tough. I don't understand it. She also got them in her forehead. She did say the forehead was the worst part only because, like, that's a big old bone up there. But this was her first appointment. I think she is going to do more. So the first of maybe like 3 or 4.
Actually, we're gonna go this way first. We'll poke. You have nice thick skin up there, collagen around it.
So how long do the threads usually last?
They will dissolve and you can get retreated in a month.
Okay.
And we usually recommend 4 treatments or 3 treatments. You can do as many as you want until you get the results, but it just builds collagen around that thread, dissolves, just like as if you were getting stitches. Look here, how you doing?
Good.
And then you're left with your own collagen. So you can put as much or as little threads in there. You'll see some practitioners put a lot in. Everyone just has a different technique. Okay, so we're just gonna go in and around the lines, okay? And if it's too painful, let me know.
So this one you're doing for the line that she's
Yep.
concerned with.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one hurts the worst.
That's it.
Right.
You have, the reason is your forehead is very thin. Maybe we won't put as many in.
If it hurts for her, I would be on the floor. Because she's way tougher than I am.
But your bone is right there, and that's why. Another popular area to get them, which is nice, is right above your eye here to build collagen. To lift it up a little bit without doing the lifting threads.
That's so cool though. Like who the heck thought that up? That's crazy. Oh, and here Terra was just getting a little bit more Dysport, which is just an alternative to Botox. I do either one. Terra does either one. Usually we do the Dysport. We'll talk about that in my Botox video, but she was just kind of touching her up while she was there, so. Okay, so now getting into my second under eye filler appointment. This was 2 weeks later. I was all healed up. I just felt like I needed a little bit more. So yes, and the lighting does get better right about now. So at my second appointment, things didn't go quite as smoothly. Holly had some trouble getting, you'll see in a second, she was making the pilot hole, but it was immediately closing up and she was having trouble getting that second needle in. So she had to do a little maneuvering. I got a little sweaty and thought that I was gonna pass out. That's totally just me because I'm a passer outer. It just happens. So I had to have a juice box like a 5-year-old. Terra thought it was hysterical. She was not with me at this appointment, which is why the camera's steady. Just kidding. Big thanks to my camera woman. It was her first time. She'll get better, but she did a good job. She really did. So you can see here, she was having trouble getting that second needle in. This is tough for me to watch. Yeah, this is a tough part. So if you're not like a fan of needles, like who is, you might want to look away. There's blood, there's gore. It didn't really hurt because I was numbed up. It was just like the maneuvering around, but she ended up getting it and turned out so freaking good. Like after this appointment, looking in the mirror, I was just like, yes, they're perfect. So we had a good outcome, even though the second time was a little tricky. You're gonna see the sweat on my upper lip get worse and worse as the video goes on. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't that it hurt. It was just me having that vasovagal response that I love oh so much. I'm a passer outer. So, It went well, even though it looks terrifying and you're like, I would never do this. I will say the under eyes is way, way harder to do, like as a patient, than the cheek filler. The cheek filler was nothing. I didn't feel a thing. It was 5 minutes in and out. The under eye filler is more in depth. It's a little bit more tedious, but I really do think it's worth it.
Helps to go around all the vessels. Skin's being stubborn today. It's like healing up as soon as I poke that hole in it. I'll just go to the other side and then we'll come back to this side. You're not the first one. Like here. So we'll just go perfect. Look up for me. Close your eye. Perfect. Nice. How about that? That might help.
Okay.
Kind of heals and you don't get
Okay.
anything worse.
So then I waited, I think, 2 weeks to do the cheek filler. And like I said, never something that I would have considered doing. But after talking to Holly about it, I was just like, this sounds kind of great. I did it. I could not be happier. I never thought this was something that I needed, but apparently it was. And again, we forgot to turn the music off, so I had to do a little voiceover for this part. Now she's just putting the numbing cream on, which, amazing. Numbing cream, yes, cover my body in it.
So don't wear a mask. Keep this area clean for like the rest of the day. You don't want to get an infection.
Okay.
It's not permanent filler, but it's semi-permanent. You know, it's gonna stay for a good year.
Mm-hmm.
So first I'm just gonna mark you up. Just so that it can stay within the borders here, according to your anatomy. So as you age, you're losing the volume here, getting it here, your fat pads are separating, and sometimes it's just nice to have a little contour in this area. So a little poke down to your bone.
I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not, but Holly said that most people get 2 to 3 syringes. I only got 1, so my results are super subtle, but perfect. Like, I can't imagine getting more. And this did not hurt, even though it probably looks like it did. I didn't feel anything. The one thing that kind of bothered me was the sound. It was almost like a crackling, kind of the same thing you get when you get Botox, but no pain.
Good. Smile for me. So you have a nice anterior cheek, so we're just gonna stay back here. Ooh, it looks good already. It's very subtle, but it looks really pretty. Just gonna look here.
Now I'm gonna have to get it done.
See how that's popping out now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you wanna look? We're almost done with the one side. See how that's so much faster than the tear troughs?
Mm-hmm.
It's just less tedious.
I feel like you can definitely see better on this side after she moves her hand here. It's such a subtle change that sometimes it's hard to even notice it. Like when I was trying to take pictures to show you guys, I'm like, wait, you can't see it at that angle. But the tiniest little change like this made such a big difference to me. Like, especially once I put makeup on and I look in the mirror, I'm just like, combined with my under eye filler, it's just such a subtle change, but such a huge change at the same time. It's amazing. And the cheek filler was a breeze, so easy to do. So the analogy that Holly gave me for this cheek filler, the Restylane Contour, is putting baseballs under a mattress. And that made total sense to me when she said that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Think about it.
I'm just kind of pressing it down just to make sure everything's equal. Again, the product has lidocaine in it, so you're gonna feel okay. And then tonight, whenever it all wears off, or in a couple hours, you're gonna feel like I kind of poked you with a needle in place product. Make a little bruise there, okay? Just keep an eye on that. And you already kind of have nice cheeks, but just to kind of accentuate them a little bit, you don't ever want to overfill your cheeks. It's just a little bit of a
Looks
a little bump there, just to give you that natural contour. Natural contour with filler. So, you know, I was saying, as we age, we're losing the fat pads that are here. Everything starts dropping. Whenever you're young, you have a nice heart shape. Whenever you get older, kind of turns upside down and you get heavier at the bottom. This is not a facelift, but it does help to replace the volume you're losing to kind of pick up what's going on down below. And it also does help with your under eye because you're replacing that fat pad. My clients have told me that, and also studies have shown that it helps with your under eye.
It really
So I feel like it's a full face rejuvenation almost.
So here was me the next day. You can see I had a little bruise there. That went away in like, I don't know, 3 days. And here I am head on. Doesn't it look so good? So subtle, but so big. Now, we didn't get before and after pictures of mine. Things were so hectic. We were trying to set up the camera and everybody just forgot. But Terra got the same thing that I did. She got one syringe of Restylane Contour. So I wanted to add her pictures in so you could see, because her before and afters are amazing. Okay, so hopefully I covered everything in this video. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. I think that's all. If you guys want me to film my Botox, let me know. We'll talk about it. I'm a huge lover of Botox. It is wonderful. So, I think that's everything. I'm just like sprawled out on the floor. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you're not a fan of filler, this is not your kind of thing, please don't be rude in the comments. Like, just let people do what they want. It's my body. You know, I'm not doing anything over the top, keeping it subtle, but I'm aging gracefully with a little bit of help. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.
How do you feel about this? I'm scared. Tell us how you really feel. I'm scared. I'm a little sissy girl. I'm not tough like Terra. Let me first take behind me back. Perfect. So, show me here. Where'd the little mirror go? What exactly, whenever I went down with a needle, you are very thin there.